Welcome to Carbondale, Illinois, where the Salukis of Southern Illinois are 65-2 since 2001. Randal Falker has 3 straight double-doubles for SIU, and he looks to power his way past the #1 scoring team in the MVC, Missouri State. Missouri State has won the last 3 versus SIU, but none have been in Carbondale. Rivalry Week continues with the Missouri Valley Conference Showdown next on ESPNU. We're down to the final regular season games for what has been a terrific campaign so far for the Missouri Valley Conference. And tonight we have 2 teams very much alive for the league championship and the NCAA tournament. It's Missouri State on the road taking on Southern Illinois in Carbondale. Hi, everybody. Along with Chris Piper, I'm Bill Dolman. Thanks for joining us tonight. And, Chris, we have 2 teams at the different ends of the spectrum. You've got Missouri State, who's a high-scoring team. Southern Illinois has built a national reputation for its defense. Add to that, it's a great rivalry. Should be a fun night. Well, both teams going in different directions as well. Missouri State, they've won 3 in a row, and Southern Illinois has lost 2 in a row. Now, Missouri State happy with the offense, but Barry Henson wants to see more defense. And Chris Lowry for Southern Illinois, he's wondering where the defense is going. Well, both of these teams have high scorers and shooters to contend with. Blake Ahern of Missouri State is the top scorer in the league, and Tony Young is an MVP candidate in the Mo Valley. Well, Blake Ahern's better. He shoots the ball well from the outside, but his ability to put the ball down on the floor has helped his game, and I think Tony Young has been fantastic. The guy really that's made things happen for Southern Illinois. Now, the head coach of the Missouri State Bears in his 7th season on the bench in Springfield is Barry Henson. After 21 games, they're 15-6. It's the best start in his 7 years with the Bears. And his counterpart is Chris Lowry, longtime member of the SIU family. He's been a player here, an assistant coach here, and now he's in his 2nd season as the Southern Illinois head coach with a terrific record, 43-15. Here's a look at their starting lineups. And for Missouri State, Deke Thompson makes the show go. He's a senior point guard. Sky Frazier is coming off of a career game. Southern Illinois has a different starting lineup, at least at the guard position, for the first time in 58 games. Jamaal Tatum is not in the starting lineup for the first time since his freshman season. He's been ill. So SIU will begin a backcourt with 2 freshmen for the first time in just about forever. But Randal Falker has been playing very well down low for the Salukis. Southern Illinois, the home team, they'll be in white trimmed in maroon. The Missouri State Bears on the road in maroon trimmed in white. The officials, Curtis Shaw, David Hall, and Steve Welmer, an outstanding crew in charge of this big game in the Missouri Valley. And Shaw controls it for the Salukis. And here's Bryan Mullins, the freshman point guard for SIU, running the show. And the first pass to Falker is tipped away, but he maintains possession. These 2 teams met earlier this season, back on the 19th of January. Missouri State won that game in Springfield, 71-63. Both coaches feel this one could be a much more low-scoring contest. Inside 10 seconds on the opening possession. Shaw gives off Falker. Great passing. He missed the layup and then taps it out of bounds. But last touch by Missouri State. Well, great look over the top. Matt Shaw really is the guy that can make this Southern Illinois team happen. He's a guy, 6'7", sophomore inside, good hands, smart player. Really has not played his best basketball the last couple games, and I think he is critical for Southern Illinois' success. And they're resetting the shot clock. It wound down to 28 seconds without the ball in play. Well, Barry Henson threw a little curve to start this game. Started Kyle Smith-Peters at the point guard spot, or at the guard spot. Little change up, putting actually I said Kyle Smith-Peters, I meant Shane Laurie. I put Tyler Chaney on the bench. Here's Tony Young along the baseline. That shot rolls off, and the rebound pulled down by Blake Ahern of Missouri State, and the Bears have their opening possession. Laurie left alone at the top of the key, misses the opening shot. Mullins has the board for the Salukis. Southern Illinois likes to play a slow-down style of basketball. They'll use all 35 seconds, but Mullins has the capability to run it when he can. And there's a great entry pass again from Young to Falker, and he's fouled by Nathan Ballou. A nice look over the top. They look at the Missouri State game plan. They've got to be able to beat the double team. Barry Henson teams like to set a lot of screens on the ball. You've got to get through that, pass out of it, and also defense leads to transition. This Missouri State team much better in transition
getting up and down the floor. If they get stuck in a half-court offense, that's where they start struggling to score points.
Falker at the line, just a 52% foul shooter. He's been carrying this Southern Illinois squad. Missed them both. The last 3 games, 3 consecutive double-doubles.
Well, not a whole lot of margin for error for Southern Illinois. They get layups and free throw attempts. They have got to be able to cash in on those opportunities.
We've got a foul on Southern Illinois, and that's going to go against Matt Shaw, the sophomore from Centralia, Illinois. And here's a look at their game plan.
Well, for Chris Lowry and Southern Illinois, they've got to be able to get on the boards. They've given up 53 offensive boards over the last 4 games, and also inside out. Randal Falker is a guy that's been more active for him inside. They're looking at him. They're trying to get him some touches inside. He's just got to be able to cash in on those opportunities. I don't think Missouri State as good defensively in the interior as they have been in the past.
A senior with the basketball guarded by a freshman. Mullins right here gets beat by Thompson. And Laurie is pass too tall for Sky Frazier. And Falker has the steal. Here come the Salukis. We're still searching for our first points of this game. Wesley Clemens, a freshman from Indianapolis, is out there in the backcourt with Mullins. Both those guys first-year players for SIU. And again, the Salukis are able to get the ball down to the low post with excellent passing. That was Gunn who was fouled. And another team foul on Missouri State, and that's on Deke Thompson. Second team foul on the Bears.
Southern Illinois pretty good in that motion offense right now. Missouri State just not denying the cuts. They're letting Southern Illinois go where they want to. And that's a recipe for disaster when you're guarding motion offense. You've got to deny guys the spot they want to get to on offense.
Clemens with the miss. Thompson gets a good screen from Frazier. And it's kicked out of bounds to Missouri State. Plenty of time, 24 seconds remaining on the shot clock. 2 minutes into the ball game, still scoreless.
Well, let's watch that Southern Illinois pressure around the perimeter. One of the things that they do so well is guard and push the perimeter offense away from the basket. That makes it tough for them to get into the flow of their game. Now, Missouri State was pretty effective in Springfield at beating that defense.
Young with the steal. Thompson lets him go by. Remember, Thompson picked up a foul just moments ago. So he's already playing a little cautiously. Ahern had his pass from Frazier go off his fingertips. And we've got a whistle and a foul called by Curtis Shaw. That's going to go against SIU, and we've got a lot of whistles in the early part of this ball game.
Yeah, watch the anticipation there by Tony Young. Just shoots the gap. Bad pass by Kellen Easley. Soft across the whole length of the floor. And Tony Young so fast. I mean, this is a guy that has really put this Southern Illinois team on his shoulders. You knew he could play defense. All defensive team last year. All 6-man this year doing the offensive things as well.
Another steal for the Salukis. SIU averages 9 steals per game. 3-point try in the corner by Young. That's no good. Thompson with the rebound. Leaves it ahead for Ahern. He goes off the glass, too strong. Easley with the rebound and the putback. And the first 2 of the ball game for Missouri State.
And that's what Missouri State has to do, is just attack the glass early in the offensive series. Try to get the ball down inside. Try to keep Southern Illinois off balance defensively. I think you want to allow a team like Southern Illinois to get their half-court defense set up. It's so tough to beat them in the half-court. A nice push ahead by Blake Ahern, and that's what he's done with his game this year, the ability to put the ball down on the floor. Now, he doesn't make the play happen, but he puts Southern Illinois in a position where they're not ready to board defensively, and Kellen Easley with that length ability to get on the glass, easy too.
Another good Southern Illinois pass through that Missouri State defense. Why are the lanes so open?
Getting the penetration, just breaking down that defense on the perimeter too easily right now. And when you beat them so badly on the perimeter with the dribble, doesn't allow the help side defense to come over in time.
Taylor Cheney into the game with that last whistle, misses his first attempt of the game, and that rebound out of bounds, less touched by the Salukis. It's Missouri State basketball.
Now, Missouri State would like to see Tyler Cheney get going offensively. He's really struggled shooting the ball this season, 36%. Last year, he was a guy that could give them some offense.
Ahern got tied up along the baseline, and the alternate possession belongs to Missouri State. 16:22 remaining in the opening half, still very early on of an important Missouri Valley contest. Inbound to Sky Frazier. Falker picks him up along the baseline. Cheney swings it to Laurie. Shane Laurie making his 4th consecutive start. There's Cheney with a 3-pointer with Shaw in his face. Chaney, a 29% shooter from behind the arc on the year. That's his 21st three-pointer. Here's Mullins forcing the action. Goes off the side of the backboard and got his rebound. Very fortunate play. Now Clemens gets in trouble and throws it away. And that's a timeout to Missouri State, and that takes us to a break. 15:54 left to play. Chaney off the bench, draining the three, giving the Bears the lead.
Here, go.
Missouri State with the early lead on Southern Illinois. We're in Carbondale, 5-4 the score, just very early on in this first half. Southern Illinois has shown a good pattern so far in this ball game, Chris, of being able to get the ball inside of Missouri State.
Well, watch the defense here by Missouri State. Southern Illinois being able to beat the penetration, or penetrate through. Now right there, you stop and see. Look how that defense, once he gets inside there and he beats it so badly. Look, 5 Missouri State players collapsing inside, and look at the option that they have offensively underneath. You get beat on the penetration that bad outside, Bill. That just opens up. It puts everybody else defensively in a position that they have to go help, and all of a sudden you're beat. You've got so many options offensively. Missouri State has to do a better job on the ball.
Top offense in the Missouri Valley Conference. Missouri State 71 points per game. Southern Illinois, the top defense, giving up just 56 points per game. And Southern Illinois' defense has become nationally known. They're very, very stingy, and they're very patient, though, offensively. When you get back to the replay that you saw a moment ago, they will strike quickly when they have the opportunity in that half-court set.
Well, some of their patience on offense is necessity because they just can't get a shot. They don't have that many scores, and so they have to keep grinding it, turning it over and over and over until they finally get an opportunity.
Look at the extended defense and the pressure they're putting out on the guards of Missouri State. The shot clock down to 2. Chaney's got to force it up. He does. That's off the mark. And the rebound tracked down out of bounds to Southern Illinois. And that is textbook SIU defense.
And no coincidence either that Southern Illinois went with Austin Brooks. Number 4, you bring in the 5th-year senior walk-on, the only senior on this team. And he's not even on scholarship, but he's a guy, an energy guy, really speeds up the defense, especially on the perimeter for Southern Illinois.
Again, we're not expecting to see Jamaal Tatum tonight, although he is on the bench. He is in uniform. But earlier today, he was in the hospital. He's been bothered by a stomach virus that hit him last night. Practice yesterday, seemed to be at 100%, but had a hard time getting healthy, was not here. We didn't expect him to even be at the arena. ESPNU delivers ACC Hoops Wednesday and Thursday night. Wednesday at 7 Eastern, the North Carolina State Wolfpack take on Robert Height and the Miami Hurricanes. Then Thursday at 7 Eastern, Anthony Morrow and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets face Al Thornton and the Florida State Seminoles. College basketball is part of Rivalry Week on ESPNU Wednesday and Thursday nights. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. That North Carolina State Miami game, great balanced scoring by North Carolina State, and Miami has a trio of guards all averaging in double figures. That should be a terrific matchup.
Well, how about that game this weekend, Florida State Duke? I mean, Florida State goes in 0-14 at Cameron Indoor, takes Duke to overtime, and unfortunate whistle toward the end there wasn't in Florida State's favor, but it doesn't cost you the game. I mean, that's just one of many factors, but great job by Florida State in that game.
Did cost the officials a game, however.
Yes, it did cost the officials a game.
Jamal Foster into the lineup for Southern Illinois, replacing Randal Falker. 5-4 the score. Missouri State with the lead. Here's Laurie working on Austin Brooks. He goes off the glass. Boy, that's a pretty jumper.
Well, tough shot there by Shane Laurie. Obviously feels like he can go over the top of Austin Brooks. Austin Brooks listed at 5'10", probably a little closer to 5'9", 5'8".
Tony Boyle into the game, lost a handle on it. Good pass ahead to Ballou, who's come in. He goes down hard. He's fouled. And that will send Nathan Ballou back to the foul line for Missouri State. Both teams have kind of a revolving door on their benches as we open up this ball game. They've used their benches quite a bit.
Watch, a great catch there by Nathan Ballou. He's got to reach through traffic there and grab that ball rather than waiting for it to come get it or come to him, which Tony Boyle would have stolen the ball. Nathan Ballou does a nice job of reaching out there and getting a tough pass there from Tyler Chaney. But, you know, you're right, Bill. They do have a revolving door, but right now there's not a lot of revolving coming off the bench. They've only, each team really got 8 guys that they can play here tonight, with Jamaal Tatum out for Southern Illinois, and for Missouri State and Barry Henson, They don't have the availability of Drew Richards, the 6'9" sophomore, still suffering from the effects of a concussion about 3 or 4 games ago.
Austin Brooks with a jumper from the corner, and he drills it. That's a 2.
Well, those 2 points are huge for Southern Illinois because Austin Brooks, that's only his 5th field goal of the season. He is not a guy looking to score, but here tonight for Southern Illinois to make up those 15 points of Jamaal Tatum, they're going to have other guys that are not normally offensive guys step up and make plays.
Well, the last time these 2 teams met back on January 19th, Brooks played only 3 minutes. He might play 30 minutes tonight in Tatum's absence. It's kind of up to him and Wesley Clemens to determine who's going to be that other guard. And Brooks slaps it away. Foster picks it up. Here's Tony Young trailing on the play. And Young's pass tipped out of bounds, and Southern Illinois will maintain possession. Fortunate whistle for Tony Young. He did throw that kind of high. Wesley Clemens back into the game for Southern Illinois. He throws it in to Young. Mullins goes to the bench. Here's Brooks again. Salukis trail it by 2. Clemens, Brooks, Foster, Boyle, and Young on the floor for SIU. And Shane Laurie forces the turnover, getting a hand in there, poking it away from Clemens. And there's Jamaal Tatum on the Southern Illinois bench. What do they lose, Chris, with him not available tonight?
Well, it gives you another offensive threat without a doubt. I mean, he's averaging 15 points. He hadn't shot the ball very well, but his quickness as well off the dribble, you really have to make sure that you give him the space so he doesn't beat you on the dribble, and it just gives this Southern Illinois team another offensive weapon that they're sorely missing. I mean, right now on the floor for the Salukis, Tony Young, the only guy that's going to be looking to score.
Well, he's an outstanding talent, but also his presence and leadership means a lot for Southern Illinois. Here's Tyler Chaney. That was kind of a delayed backdoor cut, and the foul is on Boyle. That's his 2nd personal foul and the 4th team foul on SIU in the first half. Here's Tyler Chaney, a 63% shooter on the season from the line, and he's good on the first. And here's Randal Falker back into the game for Southern Illinois. He'll replace Boyle. Randal Falker, 6'7", 225, sophomore out of St. Louis. Here's Chaney, averaging double figures on the year. Only had 2 points and 3 rebounds the last time these teams met. Good on both, extending the lead to 4 once again, 10-6. Sky Frazier and Blake Ahern come back in for Missouri State, replacing Tyler Chaney, and Dale Lamberth was in there briefly. He's back on the bench. So you've got Thompson, Laurie, Frazier, Ahern, and Ballou out there for Missouri State in the maroon.
Sky Frazier comes back in just as soon as Randal Falker got off the bench for Southern Illinois. Barry Hinson went and grabbed Sky Frazier, said, time for you to get in. Gonna need some size to match up inside.
Tony Young with a jumper from the top of the key.
Well, he has been so good for Southern Illinois this season, especially once he got in Valley play. 2nd in Valley scoring, averaging 16 points, and Tony Young makes such a hard guard on the perimeter. High release, able to get it back over the head. You're really not going to block his shot. You just try and get a hand in the face.
He's been kind of the surprise player this year for Southern Illinois, which is odd to say because he's a junior. You expect him to come in with some experience and know what's expected of him. And they know he's a very physical presence, outstanding defender. But his shooting this year has been terrific from the start of this season. 41% from the floor, better than 40% from three-point range. Sky Frazier with the jump hook, that's no good. And there's Young getting in there for the rebound.
Well, you know, career he averages 42% from 3, so you know he can hit the shot from outside. It's just they haven't needed it as much with Darren Brooks and Stetson Hairston out there with them as well, the 2 great seniors that they lost last year.
Missouri State fortunate to keep possession. Here's Ahern in the corner for 3. That's too strong. Frazier had the rebound momentarily, and it's Brooks who picks it away. Southern Illinois with a chance to tie, take a lead with the 3.
They'd like to see him try to get the ball in Randal Falker's hands a little bit, see if he can start getting something happening inside.
Brooks left alone on the line. That's a 3-pointer for Austin Brooks. He has 5 early points. He averages barely a point a game all season long. He stepped up.
What a great job, Bill, by Randal Falker. Patience, draws the defense, kicks it back out.
Fans in Carbondale are happy their Salukis are out on top of Missouri State in this great Missouri Valley Conference rivalry. Things are looking bright for Southern Illinois right now. The Salukis with an 11-10 lead on Missouri State, but still very early on in this Missouri Valley contest. 11:26 left to play in the opening half. The Salukis 16-7 on the year, 9-4 in conference play. And it's not too often that you can have about 9 minutes gone by in a basketball game and somebody's already had a career night, but it's been a career night already for Austin Brooks with 5 points.
Well, he's got 25% of his season total of points here tonight already in the first 8 minutes. Field goals has been a struggle. Both sides struggling shooting the ball, but that's to be expected. These two teams match up extremely well. They have in the past as well. Barry Henson's squad has had probably more success against Southern Illinois than any team in the Valley over the last few years. Both like to play a physical brand of basketball.
Well, during the timeout, our officials, Steve Wellmer, David Hall, and Curtis Shaw, spent an extended period of time looking at the monitor to determine whether or not Brooks's three-point shot was a 3 or a 2. And they looked at it from all kinds of angles. And it was called a 3, and there was nothing that they saw that changed their minds. And so it will remain a 3. Brooks with 5 points to lead all scorers. And here's what the officials were seeing. And from that angle, it's very tough to tell. And I say give it to him anyway for the effort he's already made tonight.
Yeah, why not? Except at the end of the game, if it's a one-point game, it might not sound like a great idea. But yeah, that inconclusive evidence there. You couldn't really figure out where that right foot was. Left foot was behind. It's always with a right-handed shooter. The right foot kind of slipping forward a little bit for you.
Mullins doing a lot of dribbling in traffic, and he goes one-on-one with Ballou and scores.
Well, the dribble penetration's been the best weapon for Southern Illinois so far here tonight. Missouri State's got to do a better job on the ball.
Well, we're at that point in the season where you start thinking about players of the year, newcomer of the year, freshman of the year. And I would imagine there are going to be a lot of people with ballots who will say Bryan Mullins is the freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference. Southern Illinois is 15-5 with him in the starting lineup.
Well, he's not going to win you with numbers. There's no doubt about it. But he does what a point guard is supposed to do, and that's win.
Well, he's racking up numbers, back-to-back baskets for him. He has 4.
Well, huge offensive outburst for him because he has struggled as far as scoring points for Southern Illinois here about the last 6 games or so.
Ahern is cold. Clemens battles for the board, flips it to Brooks. Numbers for the Salukis. Mullins, good pass to Falker.
What a pass. Great setup there by Bryan Mullins. Barry Henson waits a second, thinks about it, and says, no, I better call a timeout and stop this run right here. Nice job there by Austin Brooks, giving the ball back to the middle. Bryan Mullins sets up the defense, takes it left, draws Shane Laurie over to him, and then a nice little kickoff. Watch the scoop. Gets by Tyler Cheney with the reach instead of moving his feet. And then the finish by Randal Falker. And a good recognition that time by Bryan Mullins, knowing who can finish the break. Don't take the ball to the right and set up Austin Brooks, your 5'9" guy. Take it to the left and set up your big fella running. Let him go for the finish.
It's a 13-4 Southern Illinois run over the last 3 minutes and 48 seconds, and the points in the paint, the sizable advantage early on for the Salukis, and it's due in large part to great passing and penetrating by Bryan Mullins.
Well, points in the paint so critical for both these teams. You get points in the paint, what that tells you is you're getting easy opportunities, and neither of these teams right now shooting the ball very well, so if you get it inside, that's your best opportunity. And getting it inside means transition opportunities just as much as anything.
Southern Illinois started the game 2 of 7 from the floor, but they've hit 6 of their last 7 shots. Cheney to the floor, surrounded by Salukis. Held ball, and the arrow points the direction of Southern Illinois. And Matt Shaw will come back into the game for the Salukis, replacing Jamaal Foster.
Yeah, you can't make a mistake offensively against this Southern Illinois defense because they'll just pounce. And that time, Tyler Cheney takes it too far, loses his balance, puts himself in a position he had no outlets with the pass.
Inside 10 minutes remaining in the opening half. 5-point advantage for the Salukis. And a steal by Ballou. Cheney helps him out, and here come the Bears looking for some points. A lot of contact in the circle. And that foul is on Clemens, running over Nathan Ballou, and that's team foul number 5 on the Salukis. ESPNU serves up a Big 12 Sooner State showdown when James on Curry and Oklahoma State play host to Taj Gray in Oklahoma. College basketball is part of Rivalry Week on ESPNU Wednesday at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
The old Bedlam series. You can throw out the records. That game is always going to be the same. I mean, I don't care if one of the teams is undefeated and the other team hasn't won a game all season. Oklahoma State matchup. It is a physical battle. Oklahoma State, extremely young team this year.
Pretty good chance that few tickets are available for that game too. So you're going to want to tune into ESPNU. Another steal for the Salukis.
Gallagher-Iba rated number 1 place to play in ESPNU poll. Tough place to play. It was tough years ago. Then they raised the roof and added 5,000 to 6,000 seats to that place. Now it's extremely tough and loud.
Clemens with the rebound and a foul on Missouri State, and that will be against Blake Ahern, who has had a quiet first half offensively. That's his first personal foul and the 3rd team foul of the half on the Bears. Southern Illinois whistled 5 times. Kellen Easley has come back into the game for Missouri State. He wears 30, and Deke Thompson checks in. He chases Tony Young. Young, Falker, Shaw, Clemens, and Mullins for SIU and White. Here's Falker in the lane. He comes up short. Good defense by Sky Frazier. Thompson in the open floor, bodied up by Tony Young. Ahern from way outside drains the 3. With Chris Piper, I'm Bill Dolman. We're at the SIU Arena in Carbondale, Illinois for a big game in the Missouri Valley Conference. It's Missouri State, 15-6 on the year, 8-5 in conference play, taking on Southern Illinois, 16-7, 9-4 in the league. Southern Illinois has dropped 2 consecutive ball games. They've not lost 3 in a row in about 5 years.
Well, they got their hands full here tonight. Without Jamaal Tatum, against a pretty hot Missouri State team that's won 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two schools.
Inside 8 minutes remaining, Missouri State, who gave up a 13-4 run, now has a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. And another Saluki steal. That's 6 steals in the first half. Young with an excellent pass, but Shaw couldn't handle it. Shaw gets it back, muscles his way up, missed the shot, and draws a foul. This is Southern Illinois style basketball. We've got a timeout with the Salukis on top by 2. 7:39 to play in the opening half. Barry Hinson knows he's in a battle in Carbondale. What a great week it is. And a great matchup tonight between 2 rivals in the Missouri Valley Conference. Southern Illinois leading Missouri State 17-15. 7:38 left to play in the opening half. With Chris Piper, I'm Bill Dolman. These 2 programs are similar in geographic location. They recruit a lot of the same players. One a little more offensive-minded than the other. But when these 2 teams hook it up, it's usually a pretty good matchup.
Well, always a physical battle. You know, both of them really, both coaches base their teams on defense. And Barry Hinson's this year, this Missouri State team, number 1 in scoring. You look at their positions right now. This game critical for both of these teams. They're fighting to stay alive. You got the matchup tonight between Northern Iowa and Wichita State for that number 1 spot. Creighton's playing at Evansville, a place that they lost actually over a year ago. Last time they played Evansville was 2004 December. Always a battle between these 2 teams. Physical hustle play there. Shane Laurie going down. But you know, the thing about Missouri State, though, Bill, talking to Barry Hinson beforehand, you know, they got all caught up in being able to score a lot of points. But when it came down to it, after they got beat at Bradley, he came back and said, guys, we got to get back to the defensive end of the game.
Falker with the steal and the dunk. Randal Falker has been the one carrying this Saluki ball club over the past 2 weeks. He's carrying them tonight, and more contact and a foul. Ahern draws that foul on Tony Young. Team foul number 6 in the half on Southern Illinois.
You know, Southern Illinois has really bothered Missouri State around the perimeter. What is that, 3 or 4 steals we've seen in that same spot, and that's given Southern Illinois those extra points that they can't get in a half-court offense. If you give the ball, you turn the ball over here and you're away from the basket this far. That's an automatic 2 for Southern Illinois, and it really almost counts for 4 points because it's going to take them quite a few opportunities in the half-court offense to be able to get that easy bucket.
9 turnovers in the first half by Missouri State. Here's Deke Thompson. He's had a quiet first half. Now Dale Lambert. 9 seconds to shoot for the Bears. They're not in sync offensively. Thompson around the circle, dishes off Lambert with an easy basket as Thompson draws the defenders.
And that's what Deke Thompson can do for this Missouri State team. He's a guy that's fast enough with the ball in his hands. If you're extending that defense, go ahead and use the dribble and get by. Southern Illinois points in paint, still 12. The advantage there really has keyed this 3-point lead for Southern Illinois. This Salukis team, like we've said, we're going to say all night long, if you give them turnovers, points in the paint, transition opportunities, they're going to beat you.
10 seconds to shoot for the Salukis. 6 minutes remaining in the opening half. Brooks goes to Mullins. Now 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Mullins pushes off of Ahern, and Brooks has that go off his fingertips. Well, Bryan Mullins has learned how to create space between himself and his defender. He just shoved Blake Ahern off the ball.
One way of getting open. Watch him on the defensive end as well. I mean, Southern Illinois is physical.
Missouri State with 9 turnovers already. They only average 14 per game. Good penetration by Nathan Ballou, giving off to Dale Lambert. He's got 2 easy baskets thanks to great guard play and passing. Back to a 1-point ball game, 20-19. Mullins finds Brooks in the corner. This is a 2-point try. And the rebound to Ballou. He's knocked off the ball by his teammate. But Lambert picks up the loose one. Now a chance for Missouri State, who gave up a 13-4 run earlier in this half. The Bears now have a chance to take the lead. Lambert with a jumper. That's no good, and an easy rebound for Falker. In the first meeting between these two clubs, Missouri State did an excellent job of beating that Southern Illinois trap, and they hit 7 threes in the first half and led by 15 at the break.
Well, the difference that time for Missouri State, Southern Illinois was effective in pushing that ball screen away from the basket.
Pretty play. Nice pass from Mullins and a good catch by Shaw. Back up to a 3-point advantage. Deke Thompson in transition hits a tough shot to make it a 1-point game.
Got to beat Southern Illinois early in your offensive series.
First 2 of the game for Thompson. Mullins is running Ahern ragged. Tony Young gets rid of Thompson, pulls up for the jumper. That rolls off, and the rebound to Lambert. Falker got a hand on that. Thompson alone in the corner. Missed it, and Falker has another rebound. And a timeout is taken by Southern Illinois. That stops the clock. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the opening half, and a 30-second timeout. Take a look at that nice pass play from Mullins to Shaw on the SIU end.
Well, watch Shaw up top. He's going to pass it over, then make look like he's going to screen, but then he slips the screen, and Dale Lambert, thinking that he's going to help out on the pick, kind of gets beaten standing there watching. Nice job. Good read here by Matt Shaw. He realizes Lambert is going to help. He just slips the screen. Nice cut to the basket. And Missouri State caught napping on the weak side, not getting off to the ball.
Well, Matt Shaw has not played very well for SIU over the course of the last 3 games. In his last 2 contests, he's just 3 of his last 17 field goal attempts. But he's somebody who's added a 3-point shot to his arsenal. He's been very valuable for this squad. He's a sophomore. 22-21 is our score nearing the end of the first half. Salukis have lost 2 consecutive. They've not lost 3 consecutive since the 2001 season. SIU is a 4-time defending conference regular season champion.
Got Matt Shaw inside. Deke Thompson guarding him on that switch. Now good switch back by Nathan Ballou. Calls out Deke Thompson, points his man out there, gets back to him inside.
Here's Young.
Tough shot. That's not the shot that's going to help Southern Illinois right there. Tony Young trying to make too much happen on that play.
Numbers for Missouri State. Tyler Chaney goes off the glass and he scores. And Missouri State takes the lead with 3:35 left to play in the opening half. Clemens with the basketball. Thompson gives chase. We've got contact and a foul. No shot. And that foul on Thompson will be his second personal foul, team foul number 5, and that takes us to a timeout. Good play off the bench for Missouri State. Dale Lambert has 6 early points for the Bears. Great guards on display here in Carbondale tonight. Tony Young with the basketball. Bryan Mullins for SIU. Blake Ahern, Deke Thompson for Missouri State. Tony Young doing a lot of dribbling. Here's the freshman Clemens casting up a 3 and hitting it. And the Salukis are back out on top. Missouri State's been hot and cold and kind of hot again here in the first half. Here's a guy they need to get hot, Blake Ahern. Lost the handle of the basketball and got bailed out. Lambert missed a shot. It's last touched by Clemens of Southern Illinois. Clemens with 5 points. Brooks with 5 points. 2 guys little used off the bench at the guard position for Southern Illinois. They responded. 5 points apiece.
Well, a lot of guys getting active both sides. Southern Illinois, 6 players have scored. And from Missouri State, everybody who stepped on the floor has scored. And that's 8 different players. So spreading the wealth a little bit. Both these teams shorthanded.
Another foul on Tony Young. That's his second personal foul, and that's a critical whistle. And Chris Lowry may want to think about putting his star guard on the bench for the last 2:41. 7th team foul of the half on Southern Illinois. And here's one of the all-time great free throw shooters in NCAA history, Blake Ahern, to the line. He's only a 94% foul shooter on the season.
He struggled a little bit. He's missed 5 times this year. Gets to the free throw line quite a bit as well.
Good on both. He's automatic. Here's a guy who's had free throw strings of 60 and 60 in his first couple of years. Those free throws tied up at 25. 2.5 to play in the opening half. Young with a good move on Tyler Chaney, goes to the baseline, then has it stripped away, but it's last touched by SIU, Missouri State basketball.
It's tough for Southern Illinois to be able to make something happen in the basket if they're not getting the ball reversed. Tony Young standing out there dribbling. They're waiting to get the play set up. They went cut back and forth a couple times with Randal Falker. If you don't move the defense, you just make it so much harder on yourself to get a cut to the basket.
Chaney, the junior, with the basketball. Now Ahern. Kellen Easley with the pick. Matt Shaw, who came in a moment ago, chases him down.
And not only chases him down, but forces him out as well. You watch this Missouri State team when they're struggling in the half-court offenses because they're going side to side and even a little bit back to half-court. They're not able to turn the corner on these not only quick but physical guards of Southern Illinois.
The Salukis defensively really use the sidelines and the half-court line as an extra defender. They do a great job of pushing the ball way out and way to the sides.
Well, they're the aggressor as well. I mean, they really play physical. They wait for the officials to tighten the game down and then adjust accordingly.
Well put. I talked to Chris Lowry earlier today, the head coach of the Salukis. They asked him what kind of game he expected. And he used a term that's usually reserved for football. That's smash mouth. Tony Young. Line drives a three-pointer. That was tough.
And with an assist from Tyler Chaney. Chaney had a hand on the ball from behind there, tried to block it, and I think kind of straightened it out a little bit for Tony Young.
Ahern's pass batted away. Ballou got the loose ball, tapped up and in by Kellen Easley. One minute remaining in the opening half. This has been as competitive as we expected it to be. Young with a good move, strong move to the baseline, missed the shot, rebound tapped out to Falker. Fresh 35 for the Salukis. How much of it will they use? There's a 14-second differential. Young with a jumper. That rolls in.
Now too easy there for Tony Young. Catches at the free throw line, just turns and scores over the top.
A miss on the other end. Falker with another rebound. 9 points in the first half for Tony Young. And the Saluki fans come to their feet. The shot clock is off. 20 seconds remaining in the opening half. The Salukis with a 3-point lead with Jamaal Tatum on the bench. due to illness, so they've done it without one of their star players.
Missouri State, Blake Ahern asking if they need to foul. They've got one foul to give right here.
Mullins with a ball handling clinic, gets it to Sean, who draws a foul. Mullins does not play like a freshman. And he handles the point on the basketball without any fear.
Great composure.
And here's Matt Shaw in line.
Look at the patience there, just keeping his head up, looking for somebody to pass to, doesn't ever get flustered. Just keeps going out. He's really got a true point guard mentality, and this Southern Illinois team started out the season struggling off in Alaska, moved Bryan Mullins to the starting point guard spot after the first 3 games, and he's just a guy that can make things happen, doesn't have to be the focal point. You notice he gets little spurts where he's involved on the end of the offense, and then probably more comfortable, though, creating the offense.
An 84% foul shooter. Shaw missed them both, but that's how the first half comes to an end. And for Chris Lowry, he's got to be happy with the way his Salukis have played. They're very tough in this building over the last 5 seasons. The Salukis are 65-2, and they head to the locker room at the break with a lead on Missouri State. 30-27 is our score in what has been a very entertaining Missouri Valley contest. Welcome back to the SIU Arena in Carbondale, Illinois. The Salukis here at home with a 30-27 lead on Missouri State in Missouri Valley Conference basketball. With Chris Piper and Bill Dolman, good to have you with us tonight. And Chris, this is an important date in the Missouri Valley Conference schedule. We've got a big game going on here tonight between these 2 teams. Northern Iowa and Wichita State have also hooked up already tonight, and Northern Iowa has put a white-knuckle grip, I guess, on first place with a 68-56 victory over Wichita State.
Well, big win there for Northern Iowa, obviously going up against Wichita State. We've got Creighton at Evansville as well there. So you see that Creighton wins that game here tonight. That puts them at 11-3. Southern Illinois and Missouri State still right behind there. But you know, the thing about it, Southern Illinois, they still get to play Creighton. They still get to play Northern Iowa. Missouri State, they still play Northern Iowa and Creighton as well. So both of these teams that we're watching here in our game still dictate their own destiny. And you've got a long way to go left. I mean, really, this is the time of the season. It's crunch time.
Well, the Missouri Valley Conference has an RPI ranked number 6. Those top 5 teams have an RPI in the top 40. And Missouri State head coach Barry Henson talked about his team's place in the whole picture. We're at the SIU Arena in Carbondale, Illinois for a big matchup in the Missouri Valley Conference. 2 teams, Missouri State and Southern Illinois, with legitimate chances of winning the Missouri Valley Conference regular season championship, and both teams with legitimate hopes of making the NCAA tournament. 30-27 is our score at halftime. With Chris Piper, I'm Bill Dolman. Great to have you with us tonight. And Chris, this has been a very good performance for Southern Illinois throughout the first half. Their star player, Jamaal Tatum, on the bench because of illness. Everybody else seems to have stepped up.
Yeah, they have. You know, a lot of guys have scored, but, you know, for Southern Illinois, I got to be a little concerned here at halftime. They've got most of their points off of turnovers against Missouri State. If Missouri State's able to not turn the ball over, it's going to be tough for Southern Illinois here in the second half, but they're spreading the wealth. They've got to get Randal Falker involved as well.
Well, Southern Illinois is playing its brand of basketball, very defensive-minded in the first half. Take a look at a player who's got the spotlight a little brighter on him tonight, and that's Tony Young of Southern Illinois. Got to do a lot more with Tatum on the bench.
Well, he's active all over the floor, both defensive and offensive as well. The ability to hit the jumper from the outside. He struggled a little bit shooting the ball. His field goal percentage is not great here, but he stepped up and hit shots when they needed. A nice 3 there created by Randal Falker, bringing a double team inside.
Tony Young with 9 points in the first half to lead all scorers, and his team, the Salukis, lead the Bears by a score of 30-27. When we come back, action from the second half after this in Carbondale. Southern Illinois with the lead on Missouri State as the halftime begins to wind down here in Carbondale, Illinois. 30-27 is our score. Updating our Star Watch that you guys we focused on at the top of the telecast. And Blake Ahern, just 5 points in the first half. Relatively quiet from the floor. Hit a monster 3-pointer. Tony Young, though, has been carrying the load for Southern Illinois with 9 first-half points.
Well, Southern Illinois has done a nice job of keeping the ball out of Blake Ahern's hands in his comfort zone, not allowing him good open looks from the 3. And, you know, Tony Young, you look at his numbers, 4 of 10. He forced 2 or 3 shots there. Otherwise, his percentage was pretty good. I think recognition offensively is key for Tony Young, but you can't fault him because he's got to be aggressive on the offensive end, be the guy that shoulders the scoring load.
Missouri State, the road team, in the road maroon uniforms. Southern Illinois here at home in their home whites. Deke Thompson, Blake Ahern, Sky Frazier, Nathan Ballou, and Shane Laurie starting the second half for Missouri State. There's Ahern with a rainbow that finds the bottom of the net.
Nice recovery by Shane Laurie, but he twisted his ankle. Curtis Shaw going to call a timeout, let him get out. Shane Laurie really did some nice things, I thought, early in the first half for Missouri State.
Barry Anson asking Shane as he was nearing the bench, "Are you all right?" And he just walked right past him to take a seat. And that'll give Tyler Chaney some early action here in the second half. For Southern Illinois, Wesley Clemens is out there along with Bryan Mullins, Randal Falker, Matt Shaw, and Tony Young to start the second half. A 3-point lead down to 1. SIU with its opening possession of the final half. Young working along the baseline. Here's Falker. 3 consecutive double-doubles, but a quiet first half. And there's Clemens with the 3. He has 8 points in the game.
Nice job by Wesley Clemens coming from the weak side, getting open, allowing Randal Falker somebody to pass the ball out to.
Young with the block, and here come the Salukis. Thompson through the lane, pulls up, over Ballou for 2.
Nice job by Tony Young getting inside the lane. To move the defense just enough. Use that penetration, get inside the lane, use a little floater to drop.
Biggest lead of the game. 6 points for Southern Illinois.
That's where Southern Illinois is forcing Missouri State to start that offense.
10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Good pass to Frazier, bodied up by Shaw. He draws the foul, and he has a chance for a 3-point play.
Great vision there by Blake Ahern, but the post up by Sky Frazier really is what creates this play. He really gets his body in. Look how far he comes across the lane, all the way across to come meet that pass and allow Blake Ahern to get the passing angle. So many big guys will just flash straight up the lane and not get far enough over to seal their man, give him the angle to get the pass down in the paint.
Sky Frazier to the line, a 72% shooter, a sophomore from Augusta, Missouri. Good.
Yeah, they've got to get more offensive touches and looks out of Sky Frazier. I mean, that's what his game is. He's much better on the offensive end than he is on the defensive end. So if you got the big fella out there, get him some looks. He can give you some points in the paint.
He's third in the conference in field goal shooting at 56%. Young with a big pick on Ahern.
Zone look here by Missouri State now. Could be pretty effective against Southern Illinois just as long as you identify shooters.
Mullins will take that shot. He's too strong. Falker with a good rebound on the weak side. The jump hook no good. We've got a whistle and a foul. Or do we have a shot clock violation? Curtis Shaw and Steve Welmer in conversation. David Hall looked as though he was going to call a foul. Mullins put it up and fired it long. Falker got the rebound.
Yeah, lost track of that shot clock there. It didn't definitely touch rim, I don't think. Still discussing it. Curtis Shaw and David Hall now.
And David Hall will get the call. And that foul is on Sky Frazier. And here's Randal Falker to the foul line, where he's just a 52% shooter. He missed 2 shots from the line in the first half. 4 points, 5 rebounds. Also has 3 assists. Very athletic big man for Southern Illinois, and he's good on the first. Third in the conference in rebounding, 4th in blocks. He had 14 points and 10 rebounds in that double overtime thriller in Wichita on Saturday. This conference has seen a lot of thrilling games this year. Creighton and Drake went to overtime. Creighton beat Wichita State on the last second shot. That a couple of weeks ago in front of 17,000 people in Omaha. Here's Ballou going off the glass for 2.
You know, the great thing about the Valley is it comes down to the last day, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, 8th, 9th place team can step up and beat the 1st place team. I mean, this league is so tight, so tough to win on the road.
Good lob into Shaw. He's triple teamed, leaving Clemens alone in the corner for three. He has 11, matching his career high. Back up to a 5-point lead for SIU. You talk about the importance of one shot making the difference. You go back to last year in this league. Dick Thompson with the fadeaway. That's no good. Tony Young with the rebound. Go back to that thrilling game that UNI and Wichita State played in Wichita. Ben Jacobson hit that long-range shot at the end of the ball game that gave UNI the victory. They end up going to the tournament. Wichita State to the NIT.
And Wichita State finished higher than Northern Iowa in the standings as well in the tiebreaker.
Falker gets contact and gets the shot to fall. The biggest lead of the game for SIU. It's 7, 41-34.
Well, great job by SIU here in this second half of just attacking Missouri State, getting the ball inside of the big fella's hands. They're kind of mixing it up on offense, but most importantly, they're being aggressive, looking at the basket.
Tyler Chaney hits the shot. He draws a foul on Clemens. And Chaney with the chance for a three-point play.
Well, that's what the difference is, having Tyler Chaney on the floor. He's a guy that can create his own shot. He can hit these kind of plays, but the problem is he also puts himself in position where his shot selection a little bit desired there. Hits that shot, and he's got those skills, and they're looking for him to be more of a leader. And had to maybe set him down on the bench and bring him off the bench to think about it a little bit, but he could be so effective for Missouri State if he's able to play within his own game.
41-36 after the miss. SIU is led by as many as 7 in this half. They used a 13-4 run in the first half to create the distance. They've not given up the lead, and we've got a foul on that rebound. Tony Boyle doing the work for the Salukis, and that foul on Missouri State is on Dale Lamberth, his first personal foul, second team foul of the half.
Well, I think that's the right way to guard inside from Missouri State when you're guarding Randal Falker. You've seen that Missouri State's doubled him on occasion, and that's opened up the perimeter shooting. I think Randal Falker's a guy that if you make him shoot over the top, you've probably done your job pretty well.
This is Shane Laurie. Early on in this half, he started this game for Missouri State and left the game after rolling his ankle. And we've not seen him since. So we're seeing Chaney and Lamberth, and Kellen Easley is in there, and Laurie is back into the ball game. See if that affects him any. And the ball rolls off the toes of Tony Young, and that will take us to a timeout. 15:50 left to play in the game. It's a 6-point advantage for the Salukis here in Carbondale, 42-36. Southern Illinois leads Missouri State 42-36. Chris Lowry in his second season as the Salukis head coach, but he's had a long relationship with this fine university. You go back to his playing days, the 1994 Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Look at that hustle, missing the shot and putting in the game winner as Southern Illinois knocked off then Southwest Missouri State. And then in the final, he helped lead the Salukis to a conference tournament championship victory, defeating Northern Iowa and helping the Salukis move on to the NCAA tournament. He's had a lot of success in this very building as a player, 47-6, and as the Salukis head coach, 24-1.
You know, the best thing about that is, though, is I think the long pulled up socks are coming back. It's been long enough that I think they're coming back. Pull them up to the knees.
I'm kind of hoping the shorts don't come back up, though.
Oh, that's true.
You still have yours, by the way?
Yeah, I've got underwear that's longer than those. They don't come out.
Another steal for the Salukis, an easy 2 for Bryan Mullins.
Well, they're just so physical on the perimeter. You've got to be prepared for contact out there. You've got to be strong with the ball, and you can't hold it. I mean, that ball, as soon as it comes to you, you better be looking for a pass or a little penetration. Keep that defense from getting a double team on you on the perimeter.
8th steal and the 11th turnover, resulting in 2 more for SIU, and the biggest lead of the game, 44-36. We got a foul on Tony Boyle of Southern Illinois. That's his 3rd personal and the 3rd team foul on the Salukis in the second half. And Nathan Ballou will go to the foul line, a junior from Ozark, Missouri. And good on the first of 2. ESPNU delivers ACC hoops Wednesday and Thursday night. Wednesday at 7 Eastern, the North Carolina State Wolfpack take on Robert Hyde and the Miami Hurricanes. Then Thursday at 7 Eastern, Anthony Morrow and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets face Al Thornton and the Florida State Seminoles. College basketball is part of Rivalry Week on ESPNU Wednesday and Thursday nights. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Al Thornton for Florida State still trying to figure out what you got to do when you get shoved to not get a technical. I mean, backing up just wasn't good enough, huh? Was he supposed to lay down on the ground? Unbelievable.
Well, that's not good enough either. Remember, Tom Penders collapsed on the Houston bench a couple of weeks ago and ended up with a technical foul.
Do not pass out on the floor is the rule there.
Mullins cut off, trying to penetrate.
Now 2-3 again. Let's see how Missouri State rebounds out of this zone.
Young with 2 seconds on the shot clock buries the three.
Two things you got to do if you go zone. You got to find the shooter, and number two, you got to get the guys off the glass. And both times Missouri State has gone zone, they have failed to do those things.
Callan Easley was all by himself on the weak side to get the rebound. Took a little bit too much time getting the shot back up, but he is fouled by Tony Young. And that's Tony Young's third personal foul, and it comes with 14:26 remaining in the game.
Well, that's key. We got to keep an eye on that. The penetration by Bryan Mullins against the zone. You saw the two guards collapse in there. Callan Easley coming in as well. And that opens up Young for the shot from the outside. Great job. Bryan Mullins, you just can't say enough about how patient and just he's got that point guard mentality. He really never looks like he's put himself in a position where he doesn't have the passing angle.
6 points and 6 assists for Bryan Mullins. He's a freshman from Downers Grove, Illinois, one of the top 10 players a year ago in the state of Illinois. And Missouri State staying in this one from the foul line. The Bears are 9 of 11 from the strike. The Salukis are keeping the door open at the foul line. They're just 3 of 10 in free throw shooting.
Well, not a lot of surprise there because Missouri State's a team that gets to the free throw line 22 times a game. And they shoot the ball extremely well from there as well, 74%.
What a great move by Mullins.
Nice look by Foster, catching the ball down, kicking it right back to Bryan Mullins on the cut.
Mullins nearly got a steal. He is the conference leader in steals at nearly 3 a game. And Easley trying to dump it down to Lambert, has it batted away. Bears maintaining possession. Take a look at that last play by Bryan Mullins.
Now, great spot to catch the ball in the zone down in that dead area on the baseline. Really puts your defense in a quandary as far as who they're going to guard. And then Bryan Mullins cutting just as Foster caught the ball before the defense could move over.
Ballou on the move draws a foul, and that's on Wesley. Beg your pardon, on Jamaal Foster, not Wesley Clemens, 23. Jamaal's first 15th foul of the half on Southern Illinois. A couple of more whistles, and Missouri State's going to make this a free throw shooting contest.
Well, not good news for Southern Illinois because they are definitely not deep. Can't have Randal, Falker, or Tony Young on the bench.
Young's on the bench right now with 3 personal fouls.
The only good thing about the fouls for Southern Illinois is a chance to rest. This team played double overtime game, a lot of emotion against Wichita State on Saturday. Most of their guys went 40 minutes in that one.
Shane Laurie calmly puts in a 3 from the corner, and the lead that was 9 is down to 6. It seemed like for a while, every time Missouri State would get a point or two, the Salukis would come back and inch it out, and it would be the biggest lead of the game.
Really one of the best scoring teams that Missouri State has on the floor right now. Missouri State at 45%. But look at that number for Southern Illinois, 59%. And that is not going to make Barry Hinson very happy.
Mullins with a good pass to Foster. He gets it to roll in at home, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play and another assist for Bryan Mullins.
Now, Southern Illinois right now is just doing anything they want to, and mainly because Bryan Mullins is the guy with the ball in his hand, the penetration, finding a way in the lane. Now, watch the patience of Bryan Mullins here. He's always got himself under control all the way through, gets at the defense, and Nathan Ballou has got to come at that harder. He's got to stop him more aggressive. This Missouri State team right now for Barry Hinson has not matched Southern Illinois' intensity.
Well, I talked to Barry Hinson earlier today about defense, and he said, you know what, the key statistic when it comes to defense, to measuring defense, is not scoring, but what is the other team shooting against you? Against the Bears this year, opponents are hitting 41% of their shots. In this one, we saw it a moment ago, Southern Illinois hitting 59% of its shots. He does have some defensive concerns.
Yeah, scoring defense really is more something about tempo, really, than defense. But scoring field goal percentage, now that's another story. And that's what he's wanting to key on. We talked earlier about after the Bradley game, he went in and said, hey, we got to concentrate on defense. They allotted 10 minutes a day now to offense. That's all they work on in offense. The rest of the time trying to buckle down on the defensive end.
Mullins working on Ahern with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Clemens forces that up. That rocket's no good, and Lambert has the board.
Now, better job by Missouri State that time. If they can find a way to get 10-12 seconds off the clock before allowing Southern Illinois into their offense, I think it's going to be hard for the Salukis in the half court to make something happen.
The Bears have a number of guys who can score, but they got to get Blake Ahern more involved in this offense. And that shot forced up by Lambert is no good. Falker rips away the rebound and then is fouled in frustration by Lambert. And that'll take us to a timeout. See if the Bears can find some defense. Maybe the time will do them good, but Southern Illinois continues to inch away, enjoying the biggest lead of the game. Southern Illinois with a 52-43 lead on Missouri State in the Missouri Valley Conference. 11:53 left to play in the game. With Chris Piper, I'm Bill Dolman. And pressure defense is a trademark of Southern Illinois basketball, and they've been doing it very well in this game.
Well, they like to get out on you in the perimeter, make it tough to pass, shoot the gap, defensively staying off, and good on the ball pressure as well. Randal Falker there causing the turnover out on the perimeter. And just always on you. They hound you all the time. Nice hand by Tony Boyle there, kicking the ball out to who else? Bryan Mullins. How about this guy? 64 steals coming into the game. Southern Illinois now with 8 steals here tonight. And that's what is so helpful for Southern Illinois, is the ability to create those turnover opportunities, get the easy buckets, and that keys them from the field goal percentage standpoint. I mean, you don't shoot 58% shooting jump shots. You get 58% getting layups.
Well, the good news for the Salukis is that they have a lead thanks to some outstanding field goal shooting here in the second half. 8 of 11, make it 9 of 12. And again, it seems like every possession, the Salukis extend the lead and make it the biggest of the game. Double digits for the first time, and we've got a foul on the other end on Southern Illinois. And that will go against Matt Shaw.
Now, Barry Hinson's got to solve this. Watch when the ball goes down to Matt Shaw here in your lower left-hand portion of your screen. Watch that zone defense open. Look at the angle right through there. You can see it, just a parting of the waters there. Good look to Bryan Mullins. They've got to get down there quicker. Nathan Ballou's got to drop down on the baseline, not allow that pass to happen. He's too high there, and they're not having communication on the weak side. What's happening? Matt Shaw sneaking out from underneath. Sky Frazier's got to let Nathan Ballou know he's coming out there and get down on the baseline.
At the foul line, Tyler Chaney. It's the first of 2, and you see Missouri State is hanging in there thanks to some outstanding free throw shooting.
Well, it could be worse if Southern Illinois can make a free throw, Bill.
8-point difference from the foul line of the game. 9-point difference on the scoreboard. The bad news for Southern Illinois, when you look at the scoreboard, and how would you say there's bad news? They only average 54 points per game in conference play. They don't want to see the game get into the 70s. The Salukis are 1-5 this year when they reach 70 points or more. They like it to be a slugfest.
Well, but they've got Missouri State where they want them right now. But
absolutely.
You're right. You know, the tempo really at halftime was exactly where Southern Illinois wanted it. They scored 24 points here in the first 9 minutes of this half. They scored 30 in the first 20 minutes of the first half.
That foul coming with 2 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And that foul on Frazier is the 5th team foul of the half on Missouri State. And Missouri State had worked that shot clock down to 2 seconds. You know, it's fortunate here that they get the steal and the turnover and the foul on Clemens. But they lost 33 seconds in that last possession. Southern Illinois could have worked it down even more.
Well, and there's what you see is the problem for Southern Illinois. And this hasn't really been talked a lot about Southern Illinois. This is a very, very young team. They don't have any scholarship seniors. You've got Austin Brooks, a 5th-year senior, who actually sat out a year of basketball. Wesley Clemens over there getting that finger yanked on. Pull it back.
I wouldn't want to watch either.
It's always good. Here, let me pop that knuckle for you. But, you know, this Southern Illinois team, so many times they've had the seniors to be able to rely on. Darren Brooks, Stetson Hairston, You look back, Jermaine Dearman, go further back, Roland Roberts, Kent Williams. I mean, it's guys like that that set the tone, and it's guys like that that Chris Lowry is missing. I mean, that's the difference for this team in the 2 double overtime losses they've had. The loss at home to Indiana State, who's 9th in the league. It's that senior leadership.
And a foul on Sky Frazier. That's his 3rd. Team foul number 6, and another Missouri State turnover. Here's Kellen Easley coming back into the game, replacing Frazier. Tony Young, Bryan Mullins, Randal Falker, Matt Shaw, and Austin Brooks on the floor for SIU. We're at the SIU Arena in Carbondale, Illinois. Missouri Valley Conference basketball on ESPNU. An important game for these two clubs as we wind down in the regular season. There's 5 regular season contests remaining. With Chris Piper, I'm Bill Dolman. And Southern Illinois with a 54-45 lead halfway through the second half. 10-19 and counting down remaining. A 13-4 run in the first half opened up some daylight for the Salukis. Here Ahern is trying to track down the pass, lobs it, and it's Easley who tracks it down to save the possession for Missouri State.
Well, important now here from Missouri State. You play all that time on the defensive end. Good shot on the offensive end. And I'm not sure that was it.
Well, the rebounding was poor.
You know, the thing about that, Bill, is the other 4 guys get so frustrated. I mean, you're playing 25 seconds of hard defense, and then you go down to the other end. It deflates you so much not to get a good opportunity at the goal or a second chance opportunity.
Falker kicks it out to Brooks. Austin Brooks had an outstanding start to this game. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Another good offensive possession for Southern Illinois. And Ballou has it batted away easily there again to get the loose ball. Here's Ahern left alone for 3, and he got it.
Let him get his feet set. That's just as good as a layup. I mean, that baby is money when he gets his feet set, ready to go.
And a timeout taken by Missouri State with 9:15 left to play in the game. See if that sparks Ahern and the Bears.
In its 99th year of existence, the Missouri Valley Conference is the 2nd oldest NCAA Division I athletics conference in the country. With 13 NCAA team championships, the Missouri Valley has produced some of the greatest names in basketball, such as Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, and Jackie Stiles. Founded in 1907, the Missouri Valley Conference is comprised of 10 universities located in 6 Midwestern states and conducts team championships in 18 men's and women's NCAA sports.
It's live, it's ACC basketball, and it's on ESPNU.
Showtime!
For 2 consecutive nights, ESPNU brings you primetime ACC action.
Forget about that one.
Wednesday, number 15 NC State looks to knock off conference foe Miami. On Thursday, Florida State seeks redemption after 2 heartbreaking losses last year versus Georgia Tech.
Ball went down!
ESPNU with exclusive ACC action Wednesday and Thursday at 7 Eastern.
Now you can get in great shape, build muscle, and you can do it fast. All you have to do is dial it up. Turn up the results with the Bowflex Select Tech free weight system. Now you can dial up the weight you want, anywhere from 5 to 52.5 pounds on one single dumbbell. Want 15 pounds? Just turn the dial to 15 and start lifting. Ready for 40? All it takes is the turn of a dial. Now you can get powerful biceps, a sexy core, even chiseled legs in an easy 30-minute workout. Call now to order your Bowflex Select Tech free weight system for no money down and payments as low as $5 a month. Order now and we'll include this free DVD, Secrets of the 4-Step Rep, that teaches you perfect free weight technique. It's time to turn up your results. Call and get your Bowflex Select Tech for just $5 a month today.
Southern Illinois leads it by 6, but the Salukis have not scored in the last 2 minutes and 25 seconds, thanks in part to some pretty good adjustments defensively made by Barry Hinson and company.
We showed you in the zone what Southern Illinois is able to do is get it down to that baseline. But watch the adjustment here now. The ball's going to go back up top. Watch Nathan Ballou kind of slide with it and then get over there and intercept it. Trying to get the Matt Shaw down in the dead area. Nathan Ballou, nice recognition, watching the ball. And then again here, a good job on the ball screen. He's going to stick with it. Watch him slip back They show and help and recover, and a nice job by Nathan Ballou both times, reading the defense, reading the offense, watching the ball, getting off to it, and moving with it.
Southern Illinois has been in control of this game throughout, but it's only a 6-point contest. The last basket made by Missouri State was thanks to a long-range bomb by Blake Ahern. Here's Tony Young from way outside. That rolls off the rim. Tyler Chaney has the rebound.
We've seen Southern Illinois long enough to know that no lead is safe when they have it. They can go in a scoring drought real quickly.
ESPNU serves up a Big 12 Sooner State showdown when James Curry and Oklahoma State play host to Taj Gray in Oklahoma. College basketball is part of Rivalry Week on ESPNU Wednesday at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Kevin Bookout is an Oklahoma native. He chose the Sooners over the Cowboys, and OU's pretty happy that he did. Look at that. In 5 games, he's averaging a double-double against Eddie Sutton's Cowboys.
You talk about taking up some room in the paint. I mean, that guy is huge. Kevin Bookout, big and strong inside, takes up a lot of space. Now, Tony Young goes to the bench. 4 fouls, Bill. 8 minutes and 40 seconds, up by 4. Let's see how long Chris Lowry is able to keep him on the bench with that 4th foul. I'm not sure he's set this whole game. Maybe a minute or 2 in the first half between a timeout. It'll be critical to see how this Southern Illinois team reacts on the offensive end with Austin Brooks and Wesley Clemens in together with Bryan Mullins. Randal Falker and Matt Shaw got to step up big here.
A walk-on senior in Brooks and a pair of true freshmen in Clemens and Mullins. Mullins with the basketball. Inside once again, 10 seconds on the shot clock. 5 seconds as Mullins makes his move. That shot comes up short. Deke Thompson may have tapped it. And here comes Missouri State down by 4. Ahern, Frazier, Easley, Chaney, and Deke Thompson on the floor for Missouri State. The Salukis have been all over Blake Ahern tonight. Thompson all by himself at the top of the key for 3.
Good series there by Missouri State, but you see the difference on the defensive end without Tony Young out there as well. Missouri State able to recover numerous times that time. Tony Young's presence on the floor just makes it that much tougher when you get into a bad spot to be able to recover. And Chris Lowry now talking to his guys about the defensive end.
Missouri State is the top 3-point shooting team in the Missouri Valley, and they've used that 3 very effectively since trailing it by 9. That 3 by Thompson brings the Bears to within a point, 54-53 with 7.5 to play. Chris, for the longest time, it looked as though Southern Illinois was just going to use that defense and smart play on offense, wind the clock down, and just continue to inch away. You got to give Barry Henson's club a lot of credit for the way they battled back in one of the most difficult places in the country to play.
Well, what's the best way to stop somebody else's run? Score some points. That's what Barry Henson did as well. Made a little adjustment on the defensive end. Put Sky Frazier on the bench there for a little bit. Nathan Ballou manned the middle pretty well for him, and then started scoring on the other end. Let's see how Missouri State's able to react in his zone now with Sky Frazier back man in the middle.
A 10-0 run for Missouri State.
Love the crowd here in Carbondale. They never let this team quit. 10-0 run, and this Carbondale Southern Illinois crowd still screaming for him.
And a foul. That's called on Sky Frazier. That'll be his 4th personal foul. Team foul number 7. Chris Lowry turning up the heat. Barry Henson's feeling a little bit more comfortable right now. Southern Illinois now clinging to a 1-point lead. It's been as big as 9, 54-53, 7-13 left to play here in Carbondale. Taking a look back, the Bears right now on a 10-0 run. They've been boosted by what they've done at the lines. From the free throw line, 14 of 17, 5 of 12 from behind the arc. Southern Illinois, though, 22 points in the paint, thanks in large part to the turnovers and the steals. They've also been pretty good from behind the line, 6 of 10 from 3-point range, but most of that damage being done in the first half. 54-45 was our score. At the 11-minute mark, Missouri State has led twice in this ball game, 5-4, 4 minutes into the ball game, and then 23-22 with 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Sky Frazier was whistled for a foul. He goes to the bench with 4. And that's the 7th team foul of the half on Missouri State. So here's Wesley Clemens to the line. The Salukis are just 4 of 11 as a team from the line tonight. And he hits the front end of the 1-and-1. There's Jamaal Tatum. In case you're just joining us, the star for the Salukis has not played tonight. In fact, we didn't expect to see him in the arena. He has been bothered by a severe stomach virus that came upon him last night during the shoot-around while his team was at the arena. He was at the hospital, and he was so sick that they were unable to even give him an IV to give him nourishment because he couldn't hold anything down. But he's here, but he has not played. Forcing Southern Illinois to use Austin Brooks, a walk-on senior, Wesley Clemens, a freshman in the starting lineup. Both have played very well, and Shaw rips down the rebound.
Yeah, it takes a lot of points. You take 15 points away from a team that scores 61 points a game. That's tough to make that up.
And 32 minutes. Here's Clemens. Clemens tonight with 13 points, a career high. Shaw dumps it down low to Falker. He's had a quiet night. And Tyler Chaney tracks down the loose ball, but he's out of bounds. And the possession remains with the Salukis. Here's an updated look at the Missouri Valley Conference standings. Some big games tonight in league play. Northern Iowa has defeated Wichita State. They're 11-3. Creighton has won. The Blue Jays under Dana Altman without Nate Funk. They are 11-3.
Well, what a job Dana Altman has done with this team. You know, you lose Nate Funk, I mean, who quite honestly was probably going to be player of the year in the Valley, and Creighton really hasn't missed a beat. I mean, Dana Altman has done a masterful job with that team.
6 minutes remaining in the contest. A 3-point lead for the Salukis.
Of course, Creighton gets the rematch with Wichita Tuesday night down in Wichita.
Mullins with another steal. The pass ahead to Clemens. Has some trouble tracking it down. It's a good job by Wesley Clemens to not force anything. Waiting for his teammates, saving the possession. Now he's forcing the issue, and he draws a foul on Tyler Chaney.
Well, that's what they need. They don't need to use or to come down and not use any clock, and Wesley Clemens pulling it back out, letting them turn that clock over a little bit.
ESPNU delivers ACC hoops Wednesday and Thursday night. Wednesday at 7 Eastern, the North Carolina State Wolfpack take on Robert Height and the Miami Hurricanes. Then Thursday at 7 Eastern, Anthony Morrow and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets face Al Thornton and the Florida State Seminoles. College basketball is part of Rivalry Week on ESPNU Wednesday and Thursday nights. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And the front end of the 1-and-1 is missed. 6 of 14 now from the line in the game are the Salukis. They enter the game at 69% as a team. That's 8th in the 10-team league, and there's a whistle away from the basketball. And that's going to go against Bryan Mullins.
Now, Southern Illinois is going to be real lucky if that free throw number doesn't jump up and bite them here at the end of this game. I mean, this is a team where you've got Jamaal Tatum sitting on the bench. Chris Lowry knows that they have a very small margin of error. They've got to make all the little things happen, and making free throws is a little thing that becomes big real quickly.
Boy, when you're a good shooter, you can use all parts of the rim and net. Blake Ahern, a 94% shooter from the line, one of the best in NCAA history. There's Austin Brooks going to the bench.
A good thing for him, he considers that a miss, so now he refocuses and wants to make sure he doesn't touch any rim, at least for another 20 shots.
He had people putting candles in the window when the season began. He missed 4 free throws of his first 18 attempts, and then he rattled off 51 in a row. Mullins and Shaw play catch. Tony Young back out there with 4 personal fouls. 5.5 minutes remaining in the game. Falker and Clemens, the 5 on the floor for the Salukis. Here's Shaw in the corner. Lamberth, Thompson, Laurie, Ahern, and Ballou on the floor for the Bears. Young steps up. That runs off, and Laurie has the rebound.
And a great job by Nathan Ballou underneath Randal Falker, trying to get offensive rebound position, and Ballou just rides him out to the opposite side.
Crowd thought that Laurie got away with the travel. Laurie in the corner, fires up a 3, and he hits it. Well, that'll get that crowd even more fired up.
Just huge game for Shane Laurie. I mean, what a job he has done.
We're at the SIU Arena in Carbondale, Illinois. Missouri State and Southern Illinois in a great battle in the Missouri Valley. That 3-pointer by Laurie gives Missouri State a 58-56 lead with Chris Piper. I'm Bill Dolman. The Bears from Missouri State in maroon on the road. The Salukis at home in white. Free throw shooting has been key in this game. Missouri State has outscored Southern Illinois by 13 from the charity stripe. 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Clemens fired that up. He had to. Shaw nearly fouling it up.
Pretty heads-up play by Wes Clemens over there.
We've seen numerous times in this game where Southern Illinois has seen the shot clock wind down inside 5. Ahern fouled from behind by Clemens.
You know, talking to Chris Lowry earlier, I asked him what he's going to do without Jamaal Tatum. He said, use some more clock, and he laughed. I mean, they use a lot of clock naturally.
Well, the 3 has been used very well by Missouri State, and Laurie with that shot gives Missouri State the lead. Coming to an arena near you, the ESPNU Jazz Band. Southern Illinois, though not whistling a happy tune right now, they trail it by 2, 58-56. Revisiting our Star Watch, 2 of the best in the Missouri Valley. Blake Ahern of the Bears, Tony Young for the Salukis. Both have been productive getting into double figures, but they haven't had a huge impact on this game other than their presence. I'm not sure Ahern has touched the ball more than the 8 times he's shot it.
No, no question about it. They have, Southern Illinois forced him out of his comfort zone. You know, both players getting points, but taking a lot of shots to get there. And you know good players are going to get their points. You just want to make them, if they're going to get 14 points, take 14 or 15 shots to get there.
It's a 16-2 run with that free throw. The last field goal by Southern Illinois came at the 11:40 mark. That's almost 8 minutes ago. And that free throw by Ahern gives the Bears their largest lead, 60-56. Well, Southern Illinois was on a pace in which they were going to score 70, almost 80, maybe 80 points. They have put the brakes on the scoreboard. The lid is on the basket, and they need to find some offense somewhere. Tony Young is the likely guy to get that done.
This 2-3 zone better now from Missouri State than it was when we first saw it here in the second half. Southern Illinois was beating it on the dribble.
Falker with the tip in. He timed that well.
Well, give Southern Illinois credit. Again, they beat it on the dribble because the dribble draws the defense away from Randal Falker inside. They're not able to keep him on the glass for the offensive board.
Falker now with 7 points and 9 rebounds. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining. Ballou to the baseline. Works inside, shot comes up short. And a whistle and a foul, and that's going to go on Nathan Ballou. Too aggressive after his own miss. And we'll go to the other end and shoot some free throws.
Yeah, watch the penetration here by Tony Young. It just draws Nathan Ballou out just enough. He had his show. You saw him early showing there. And what happens now, he's off the basket. That allows Randal Falker to come and get out there. You see Nathan Ballou just peeking out there, hedging a little bit. And where's Randal Falker? Now he's underneath the basket, able to post up his position inside. And now he's blocking Nathan Ballou out, keeping him away from the basket, and that gives him the offensive rebound opportunity.
He now has 9 points with that tap in. A point and a rebound away from his 4th consecutive double-double, but again, the free throw lows continue for the Salukis. Now 6 of 15 as a team.
Now you're going to wonder where fatigue plays into the part for Southern Illinois a little bit there from the free throw line. Lack of Jamaal Tatum out on the floor. These guys going a lot of minutes, a lot of hard minutes. They play physical defense.
2.5 to play. Missouri State by 2 on the road in Carbondale. Mullins drops it down to Falker, who's fouled by Frazier, and Sky's night comes to an end.
Well, just a mental mistake there by Sky Frazier. If you're going to play behind him, play behind him. You don't play behind him and then decide to try and deflect the ball. Watch him. He's initially behind him. He's not doing anything to get around over the top right now. That means he's decided that he's going to play behind Randal Falker. So don't try and reach around right when he catches the ball. Little rule of thumb, the official's going to be watching you when your guy's got the ball. So Sky Frazier, a little bit to learn there. The sophomore, 6'10", body inside. He can score. Barry Hinson needs to get him going on the defensive end to help them out a little bit more.
Frazier's night comes to an end. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 fouls. Falker hits the front end of the 2-shot violation. Both teams are at the 10-foul limit. And he hits them both to tie it at 60. We've got a 2.5-minute sprint to the finish in this one. Here comes Shane Laurie back into the game, the freshman from Springfield. He replaces Deke Thompson. So you've got a freshman in there replacing your senior point guard. Southern Illinois extends its defense. Mullins tracking down Tyler Chaney. Kellen Easley. Falker way out there on him. And it's tapped out of bounds by Easley. It's a turnover to SIU.
Now Missouri State never gets comfortable here on the offensive end, just not handling the ball on the perimeter very good at all. And Kellen Easley getting mixed up with Blake Ahern, throws the ball out to him, and Ahern not able to get there. And who's got his nose sniffing around that play but Tony Young. All over Blake Ahern on the perimeter. Face guard denying him the ball.
Southern Illinois on the year 16-7, 9-4, four-time defending Missouri Valley Conference regular season champion. 9-4 in conference play. They've lost 2 consecutive games, including a heartbreaker in Wichita last Saturday. That loss in double overtime, 71-63, the same score that Missouri State posted in beating the Salukis earlier this year in Springfield. Here's a look at the updated Missouri Valley Conference standings. And again, the top 5 teams in this conference are all in the top 40 when it comes to the RPI. The Missouri Valley right now enjoying its highest RPI ranking at this point in the season at number 6. Those are 5 teams that legitimately are thinking conference championship and NCAA tournament, and there are a couple of teams below them that are thinking about shocking the world when it comes to the tournament in St. Louis in March.
Well, I'll tell you one team I would not want to face in Arch Madness is Indiana State.
Young with the 3 out of the timeout. The Salukis are back on top.
Boy, just straight on the offensive series. Nobody from Missouri State picks him up, and another huge shot for Tony Young. It's been his season. He wants the ball in crunch time and steps up and makes the play.
Ballou is fouled on his way to the basket. It looked like he almost slipped and fell. And it's a 2-shot situation for Nathan Ballou with 1:44 left to play in the game. That foul called on Shaw is his 4th.
Well, we talked about Southern Illinois, the senior leadership they've had, the leadership they've had, these great, incredible run they've had over the years. And a guy like Tony Young can step up and be that guy, and he has done it for him. He has really put this Saluki team on his shoulders when they've needed buckets, and no bucket bigger than that one there for Tony Young, just rising up over the top of that zone.
Ballou good on both foul shots. We've got a 1-point game with 1:44 left to play. Tony Young now with 17 points in the game, 3 of 6 from behind the arc. He had 24 in the earlier meeting between these two teams. That back on the 19th of January.
2-3 zone still by Missouri State. Important for them to get that rebound.
Morey got a hand on it, tapped that out of bounds. 18 seconds remaining on the shot clock. 1:27 left in the game.
Wesley Clemens really holding that left hand where he jammed those fingers earlier. See how he handles the ball.
Well, he had his left pinky finger dislocated, and it was put back in place by the Salukis trainer, Ed Thompson. 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Well, that was on the mark. Falker with the rebound, saving a possession. A fresh shot clock for Southern Illinois. They lead it by a point.
Well, that's what we talked about. So tough to rebound in the zone, especially on the weak side. The smart big man will pin you there and wait for the ball to bounce off long, and that's exactly what happened. Great job by Randal Falker.
Shaw along the baseline. Off the mark, tapped around. Ballou with the rebound for the Bears. A 12-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Missouri State has trailed by as many as 9 on a couple of occasions in this half. They led by as many as 4 just moments ago, but now they face 28 seconds remaining on the shot clock, 40 seconds remaining in the game, and they trail it by a point. Timeout taken by the Bears. Let's go back and look at the three-pointer by Tony Young, and certainly the biggest basket of the night for Southern Illinois.
You know, huge play here. Look, this passing the ball around the perimeter, and it just rises up and shoots at 17 points for Tony Young. Huge shot there. They were struggling a little bit offensively here over the last 7 or 8 minutes for Chris Lowry, and that's just a big shot there for Tony Young. Nice luxury to have a guy like that who wants the ball in his hands when it's go time.
63-62, Randal Falker for the Salukis. 4th consecutive double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, chipped in 3 assists. He's been very productive, but also his presence on the floor in the absence of Jamaal Tatum. They've needed that tonight, have these Salukis. Again, it's a 12-second differential between the shot and game clocks. Ballou lost his dribble. Here's Deke Thompson, the senior. Mullins chasing him, and now Shaw comes out. Chaney in the corner, a three, that's no good. Ahern the rebound. He forces it up, and he's fouled.
Well, let's just go ahead and save some time here and mark that as 64-63 and go to the other end. The long rebound. Look at the post up or the box out inside by Nathan Ballou. He's actually on Tony Young's back, keeping him in there, and that allows the ball, if it bounces long, to get over to Blake Ahern on the opposite side. Well, Chris Lowry going to try and throw a little ice on Blake Ahern here. Goes with a timeout as well.
63-62 in Carbondale. More great basketball coming your way on ESPNU. We serve up a Big 12 Sooner State showdown when James on Curry at Oklahoma State play host to Taj Gray in Oklahoma. College basketball is part of Rivalry Week on ESPNU Wednesday at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Well, if I'm Barry Hinson right now, I am telling my team, hey, we're going to find the shooters. You're going to get a hand up in Tony Young at all times, maybe even deny him the ball. But most importantly, when that ball goes up on the boards, you've got to box out. Second chance opportunity going to be key here for Southern Illinois.
Tony Young, 17 points to lead all scorers. 4 Salukis in double figures. Couple of Bears led by that man, Blake Ahern. A quiet 14 points, but 6 of 6 from the line. 94% on the year.
Can we jinx him anymore? I mean, I don't think he's jinxable. I don't think he can be jinxed.
Jamaal Tatum, spectator tonight. 15-point scorer, 32 minutes a game for the Salukis. Benched tonight because of illness. And the Bears with the lead, and a timeout taken by Barry Hinson. 64-63. 18 seconds remaining. The shot clock will be off for SIU. And where has the game been won tonight? At the free throw line. Missouri State, the top free throw shooting team in the Missouri Valley, 73% as a squad, has missed just 3 tonight. Southern Illinois, just 8 of 17, 8th in the conference in free throw shooting. Let's take again a look at the updated standings. Northern Iowa and Creighton tied 11-3. Wichita State at 10-4. The Shockers will play host to the Blue Jays on Valentine's Day or Valentine's evening. That'll be in Wichita. Then Southern Illinois at 9-4. Missouri State 8-5. 5 teams right there in the top 40 in the RPI. All 5 teams are teams that, if you do reach the NCAA tournament, they're teams that could do some damage. If I'm one of the elite teams in a BCS type conference,
you don't want to see them.
I would not want to play them.
No. Well, here's the question now for Southern Illinois and Chris Lowry. You've got Bryan Mullins, who's been fantastic. You get him with the ball, maybe trying to make something happen, looking for Tony Young sliding, coming to the ball, off the ball. And then I think the question right now for Barry Hinson is whether he goes man here or he goes with that 2-3 zone. I mean, he's kind of been 50-50 on both of them, but whatever they do, I think it's important for Barry Hinson's squad to be able to get on the glass. Glass probably going to dictate the end of this game.
Young, Mullins, Shaw, Falker on the floor with Clemens for the Salukis here at home. 13 seconds remaining in the game. Salukis down by a point. Inside 10. Mullins with the lane. Kicks it to Falker. He lays it in. The Salukis lead.
What a job by Bryan Mullins. Unbelievable.
And we've got a foul and a chance for a 3-point play with 5 seconds remaining.
Well, we've seen variations of this play all night. The weak area in a 2-3 zone is when you pull that defense up, they react to the drive, and you sneak the guy along the baseline. Now watch Randal Falker just slipping underneath, keeps moving his feet laterally, sliding with the penetration by Bryan Mullins. And Mullins has been money all night with the dribble penetration, finding the open guy inside. Fantastic job by the freshman, and a great job by Randal Falker moving with the ball to the open area.
5 seconds remaining. Falker with a chance to make it a 2-point game. He does. 5 seconds for the Bears. They trail it by 2. Deke Thompson with it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, a lot of dribbling. The Bears aren't going to get a shot off. The Salukis have won it.
Well, heartbreaker there from Missouri State. They had it, but you got to give a lot of credit to a plucky Southern Illinois team. This is a team that is in a position they're not used to. Lost 2 straight. They've lost their home winning streak. Young team, Jamaal Tatum sitting on the bench, but they step up and they play like the champions they have been.
Perhaps the biggest win of the year for Southern Illinois as they improve to 10-4 in conference play. Missouri State falls to 8-6. Once again, the final score, Southern Illinois in a thriller, 66-64 over Missouri State. Stay tuned as rivalry week continues with a Super Tuesday SEC matchup between Tennessee State and Kentucky. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. For Chris Piper, I'm Bill Dolman. So